Yo, what's up, guys? This is Daniel with C&D TCG Shop. Making my first video on a series that's basically going to go over how Chessie and I started this business, got into the business, the actual steps we took to create the business. I know with Pokemon being as hot as it is, a lot of people are wondering if they can kind of get into the business space of it. When the market is like this, it's actually the best time to start. There's a lot of there's a long slow period of trying to grow the business, and if you try to start when the market is down, a lot of the time, if you don't have any capital to stock up on inventory, it's hard to grow in that time period. Right now, it's harder to get inventory because everyone wants it, but this is the time where you can kind of work out the kinks of the business, get the legalities out of the way, such as starting the LLC, and you can kind of get your toes in the water, and make a few more sales. So today, what we're gonna go over is the first thing that you want to do when you start your business, which would be starting an LLC. So we're just gonna get right into it. So well, so you have the option of being a sole proprietorship or an LLC. I recommend LLC. This is the most simple way to start it. Basically, it creates an official business. You are not liable if let's say your business gets sued, which is, unless you're doing really shady stuff, is probably unlikely in the Pokemon world. But if you get sued and you, because of business practices, and you don't have this LLC, basically you're not protected on your actual assets outside of the business. So when you create this LLC, you get to basically create a divide between the business's assets and your own personal belongings. So it's just a form of protection in case the business does get sued for whatever reason. It also makes you more reputable to customers. If you go try to get a distributorship, they're going to be expecting you to be an official business, right? Especially with how many people are trying to get a distributor relationship. They're not just going to accept an application from someone who hasn't even taken the step of creating an official business, right? So we are out of Kentucky, so I just have the Kentucky one pulled up. It's pretty simple to start an LLC. Whatever state you live in, you're just going to want to Google how to start LLC in, and then just change to whatever state you're in. Through Kentucky, it's through Secretary of State. Starting an LLC is not that difficult. I don't think that you need to use any of these filing services. For me personally, when I applied to Kentucky for the LLC, I think they emailed me 13 steps that I had to complete after the initial application was sent in. Completing the 13 steps took me probably 2 hours just on my own. And if you're familiar with any kind of legal language, you'll actually probably do it even quicker than that. So I would just skip any of these filing businesses and just kind of do it on your own. It's also helpful to do it on your own because then you learn the ropes of how starting a business works, and you're more familiar with the legalities of having a company, because there are forms that kind of explain those things. But so starting an LLC is step one. Even if you haven't decided exactly what products you want to sell, as far as if you're going to be in the Pokemon space strictly, if you want One Piece, if you want Yu-Gi-Oh, if you want indie TCGs, regardless, just starting the LLC. For Kentucky, it's only $40 to officially start the LLC, and that gives you just the rights to the name of your LLC. It's not trademarked, but the LLC is yours, which trademarking is a different application. I think it's $185, but that just prevents people from taking your trade name. And so after you get the LLC, one other thing that you'll want to look into right away is applying for that sales tax license, which Kentucky does it through what's called the Kentucky Business One Stop. Every state's going to be different as well. So this sales and use tax License, basically, first, it allows you to collect and pay taxes on all of your sales that are within the state. Any kind of sales outside of the state, you do not have to charge taxes unless you become a nexus or end up having to be a nexus in a different state. This is kind of a confusing topic. I believe it started because of Wayfair selling so much product to every state. I think one of the Dakotas sued them, saying they owed sales tax because of how much sales they had. And long story short, now if you sell a certain amount of product to a state that you're not based out of, they start making you pay sales tax. It's not something we had to worry about in our first year. Probably won't have to worry about it this year either. If we do, it'll mainly be the most popular Pokemon states like California, maybe Washington, maybe New York, but most likely we are on a trajectory not to have to be a nexus. But getting back to the main point of sales and use tax, you're going to want this license as well if you get a distributorship. Because product does not have to be double taxed sales tax wise, having your sales and use tax license gives you the ability to give them a resale permit. So basically, they won't have to charge you tax on the product you get from them. And so this is going to be important because it's going to be cost effective. You're going to save money long term. And so these are just the first two steps, right? This is before you have product. I recommend doing this before you start collecting product. That way, everything you buy, you can put as an asset under the business. If you buy stuff before you officially make the business and you use funds outside of the business's bank, it's a little bit more confusing to report that product the first tax season. So start your business first, get your sales and tax license complete, and then I would recommend that's when you start getting your product. It's fine if you've already started studying up on how you're going to get your product, finding your streams of product basically, and then also website. I would say if you haven't officially made the company yet, already starting the website is kind of the carriage before the horse, right? Make sure you're dedicated enough to make it an official business before you start a website, which I recommend. Significantly less fees. The cost of building a website on Wix or Shopify, getting someone to design the website. If you're starting the business on a couple $100s, at that point, hold off on a website. But if you have a few thousand, I would recommend just starting a website. Do some small sales through TCG Player, eBay to become reputable, but I would recommend a website long term. It's 13% fees on TCG Player, eBay, around there, or 3% on a website. So you can sell product for a lot less and still get your margins. Overall, your customers get to pay less. You make the same. So if you can get a website started, I would recommend doing that. Just know that with Wix, for us, they froze our website for a few days because they require proof of invoices of products. So if you're going to Target and Walmart and just getting a box here or there, or you're getting product from people through Facebook, you might not be able to use Wix. So keep that in mind. But overall, I don't want to rant on too many things. There's going to be more videos coming out each morning. So first steps, start the LLC, get your sales and use tax license, and in the next video we'll talk about the next steps. I hope this information was useful, even though some people watching might think it's pretty basic knowledge. I think that a lot of the people that want to get into any kind of business space, they kind of are hesitant because they don't know where to start. So just do these simple tasks. It gets you one step closer to being where you want to get to. So I appreciate y'all listening. Once again, I'm Daniel from C&D TCG Shop. We've been selling Japanese Pokemon, Japanese One Piece, a few ND TCGs, Tetraverse and Fabled Sagas. We've been around for a little less than a year. First year we got over $100,000 in sales. This year we're hoping to get to the 200,000 mark. And so we're starting YouTube, just trying to help the community, help y'all grow the businesses you want to grow. And so thank you all for watching, and there will be more to come.